We haven't heard from this dickhead in a long time. Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. It's Hal Sparks Mega Worldwide. Come on, subscribe. We're getting, what are we how close are we to 60K? How do we get there? This fucking hell. Do I have to look and see? Hold on. And YouTube, nothing but YouTube. All right. Let's go to, I'm just checking something real quick. What's our current count? 57,836. Oh, we're so goddamn close. We're so close. Just a couple hundred more people, folks. Just a couple hundred. Do it. Give a thumbs up, subscribe, all that stuff. Share the show, all the shit we have to do. Seriously, after we get to 250,000 subscribers, I'm going to stop bugging you about it. I'm not even going to mention it after that point. I'm just going to have some automatic thing pop up. All right. So let's go to, and I'm going to apologize ahead of time for this one. I am. Ugh, God. Newsmax has Rudy Giuliani on. We haven't heard from him in ages because he doesn't do his show anymore, mainly because it's just like the incrimination hour. So his lawyers have advised him against it, the ones he's still paying, if at all. Anyways, are we a bunch of masochists for watching these clips? No, because you're watching them with me, and I make them fun. All right, here we go.
Terrorist war is America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani. Nobody knows.
He's back in front of the glory hole. And then what the fuck is with what is this over on the side of him? What is that little blue cushion thing? Is that a little like one of those sex mattresses for the glory hole that's over his shoulder right there? Eey.
Take on the terrorists. You led the country through 9/11.
No, he didn't.
Thank you so much for being with us this afternoon. First off, you know Joe Biden. People don't realize that. You've known him for many, many decades. I want to get your reaction.
35 years.
How many? 35 years, right? And this is not the same man that you once knew. I want to get...
No, he decided to take on communism late in his life. You know how most people, when they get older, they get more liberal.
Reaction to Biden being asked about possibly delaying Israel's ground invasion. Take a listen.
Mr. President, are you going to delay? Are you encouraging the Israelis to delay invasion?
Talking to Israel.
What do you think about that? Delaying a...
I wouldn't talk to the Israelis.
Actually, what he did, and he didn't realize it, he confirmed the leak that came out of that meeting that's in Michael Goodwin's column today and several others. The leak was that
they're trying to save American hostages before the Israelis roll in and blow everything up.
Put a lot of pressure on Bibi not to attack until all the hostages are released.
Yeah, what an asshole, right? Who does that?
Now, the thought is that Qatar really gave up two in order to kind of stop us. So Qatar is saying, we'll get the rest. But there are 200 more to go. That could take a year.
Also, no, there are not 200 more to go. There are 200 plus total, but we're talking about the foreign captured. Israel is responsible for how they handle the Israeli hostages. The president and the other EU leaders who are talking to Qatar and these other groups to get the foreign nationals that were out there have already made headway apparently with Hamas about this part of it.
What they're trying to do
is
leverage that to stop the invasion or at least delay it. Also, Biden organized the defense minister in the UK to call Bibi and put pressure on him.
Yeah, because normally the defense minister in the UK wouldn't give a shit about UK citizens who are being held as hostages. Normally they just say, fuck it. I don't know really what we're supposed to do in this situation. We just, they're subjects to the Queen, and they should die with a stiff upper lip. That's right. If they get... What's happening? Oh, they're sending us video now. I don't care. No, we don't care about them. They've just got to take one on the chin. They're pulling the person's pants down. I see. Well, that's none of our business. I'm not here to yuck anybody's yum. That's none of any... They've got a funnel. What are they heating up the hot lead for? Are they going to pour the hot lead in the funnel and the guy says, you know what? Maybe we should talk.
And the people of Israel now, it's a bit of a scandal in Israel, are getting annoyed at the prime minister because they feel that he's being intimidated by Biden who clearly is anti-Israel.
No.
You look at it, he comes back from Israel, he talks about Ukraine, not Israel.
No, he talks about Ukraine and Israel.
Giving 4 times more money to Ukraine.
That's because we give billions of dollars to Israel all the time.
He's already given $100 billion than to Israel.
That's because Israel already has practically everything they need.
He talks about Israel like they're a moral equivalent of the Palestinian Authority.
No.
And he's never done a really good job of defending them against this horrible blood libel that they were the ones who hit that hospital. It was just an aside. Oh, they weren't the ones.
Yeah, no, he literally said that. He literally said that it wasn't Israel.
A president who loved Israel would use his microphone to correct that. This will be another blood libel against the Jewish people. Because everyone...
First of all, it would be against the Israelis and the Israeli minister, the military, not the Israelis in general, but certainly not Jews in general.
Middle East, who's not Israeli.
Even though there are people who won't make that distinction.
Believes it now. And we've done little or nothing to dissuade it. So...
So what would you say? What would you say you're in Biden's situation? He's already said it wasn't them. Would you come out and just say it louder? Maybe spit a little while you're saying it?
Put Netanyahu in a terrible position. This attack should have taken...
Well, then why did Netanyahu hug him?
A week ago, really. And he's doing everything he can to hold it off. Meanwhile, he's pumping a lot of money into Palestine.
No, a lot of food, a lot of medicine.
$1 billion in humanitarian aid.
Yeah, humanitarian aid. $100 million in humanitarian aid. So what they just took the money and they hid it inside the packets of gauze and shit like that. It sent MREs and in between just stacks of $100 bills. They've sent $100 million in humanitarian aid. See, that's how they
9 billion, I'm sorry, in humanitarian aid.
What? How much?
9 billion, I'm sorry, in humanitarian aid.
Right.
No, not right. $100 million in humanitarian aid. The $9 billion, I think, is what he's asking for Israel.
That's not going to go to the people.
Right.
What?
All right. You're right. Yes, it's not going to go to the people. It's not going to any people. It's not actually happening.
How is he going to stop the aid? He said, I know in that press conference, Mayor, he said, I'm going to make sure this is going to go to the Palestinian people, the civilians, but Hamas is in control.
Yeah, how? He's got no one in Gaza. The money's...
Yeah, they do. There's UN people in there, but this is also goods, and they have a way to deliver it. Again, gauze and food, like they're moving it in through the south. They're using it as a way to draw people down that way. They're having people that are down there that they can trust distribute it up north.
Go into Gaza. Hamas controls it. They're just as good as the mafia grabbing the money from people. Mm-hmm. I mean,
there's no money.
He's either being a total fool or a big liar, or probably both.
I see. Project much? Ladies and gentlemen, total fool, big liar, Rudy Giuliani.
But let's face it, he's on Iran's side, and he's...
Yeah, let's face it. He totally is. I mean, all this time we thought he was getting money from Ukraine and Romania, but obviously Iran's that's why they discovered the Iranian spy network or whatever, and that's why they got rid of it. Because it was making him look bad.
On Hamas's side. He is not on our side.
Our side? What's ours? The American taxpayer or the Israelis?
We don't have a president now really functioning in the best interest of the United States. Plus, he's got a bunch of spies in his administration. I mean, one after another are coming out whose loyalties are to Iran and to the Palestinian Authority. They're all around him.
Well, no, those people got bounced. Meanwhile, what happened after Trump shared Israeli secrets with the Russians? Oh yeah, a bunch of people got bags thrown over their head and they fucking disappeared.
Plus, we never really got to the bottom of Obama giving them hundreds of millions in cash.
It's their money.
Crime. It was money laundering.
No, it wasn't. It was their money. We were paying interest on it.
Right. And here in New York City, we're seeing the protests for pro-Hamas. They say they're pro-Palestinian. We're seeing them in Iran that they call the United States the big devil.
Big devil. That's what they, not the great Satan, but the big devil. Mm-hmm.
And then they call Israel the little devil. So the fact that President...
Little devil. My name's Little Devil. I'm Bobo. We're not allowed in the house. Jesus Christ. Who could pull Nothing But Trouble, Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase movies that have a guest spot by Tupac Shakur and two characters played by John Candy and Demi Moore looking extra foxy right out of their hat like that? Nobody. That's right. Welcome to the show.
Isn't even using Iran in his addresses and directly blaming them when we know that they're behind Hamas. They're the ones, they're the puppeteer pulling the strings. And also because of Biden's sanctions, where he's not enforcing any sanctions, they're become filthy rich.
Yes, that's the problem with the money. It's dirty.
Thanks to oil sales. So they can do,
well, the $6 billion that was frozen in that account that was unfrozen and then refrozen was made during the Trump administration, during his waivers he gave them.
Money to do whatever they want with it.
Well, not whatever they want. Obviously, it's, in the case of the $6 billion in particular, it had to be used through a third party to buy humanitarian goods, medicine, medical supplies, and, of course, food. Now, the idea that they could resell it and, for 60 cents on the dollar to somebody else to get money for it and turn a $100 million into $60 million and use it for whatever the fuck they want. Nobody can really stop them from doing that, period, end of story. But, again, we're not paying them interest.
Somebody should check and see if the $6 billion is still in the Qatari bank.
It's not. It never was. It was in the South Korean bank.
Or it was transferred over in order to get the two hostages out. And
yeah, it hasn't.
Iran. So that's another leak that came out when it was leaked that Biden pressured Netanyahu tremendously to not invade.
So that we could save American hostages?
Then the White House denied it, and then he answered yes. And then
no, he said he's talking to the Israelis, not what he talked about.
The White House denied that. They said he didn't hear the question. So we know what happened. We're not stupid.
I'm going to go with you are. I am. I'm sorry. I have not seen, Nothing But Trouble. There you go. I have not seen anything nothing to contradict my belief that Rudy Giuliani is genuinely stupid.
This guy is working for Iran. Why?
No, not really.
Maybe because they've infiltrated his administration, the way the communists infiltrated Roosevelt's administration, and we ended up with a Cold War. But we got to wake up.
Wait a minute. The Cold War, Roosevelt started the Cold War because communists had infiltrated it, so they started a war with the communists? Fuck me.
We got to get realistic, and somehow we got to get through the crooked press that doesn't tell you these things.
Well, they're not going to tell you that because it's nonsense.
Eventually, our survival is going to be at stake with the kind of people.
Eventually. Yeah, eventually. Not now, obviously. We're still at the brink of World War III. We've been at the brink of World War III since, as a Gen Xer, I would say since the end of World War II, really. I mean,
the deal.
It really makes you ask those hard questions.
It does. Like, what questions would those be?
That in my monologue, because you just have to wonder.
They do.
It's because that nothing else makes sense.
Yeah, nothing makes sense. If I'm wrong, none of this makes any sense whatsoever. Once you have to ask yourself, wait a minute, maybe Trump started a bunch of this shit. And then my palms get clammy, and then I want to go and scream in one of those open air markets while people are eating, drinking lattes and eating avocado toast. It just,
Mayor Giuliani, we have to go. Thank you so much for.
Yeah. Thanks for getting us through that and helping us understand nothing.
Us this afternoon, and have a great Sunday, sir.
Yeah. Have a great Sunday on the brink of World War III. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. We're all going to die. That's anytime now.